everyone. Welcome to another edition of Joe's Rod Shop podcast. Right now, before we get started, guys would have seen on social media, we actually moved over to a new platform, and this show is now available almost everywhere. From Spotify to Apple to Google to Deezer, every platform that you can actually think of. Obviously, we're also on YouTube and Facebook. So yeah, so we're really getting it out, and the numbers have just been insane since the move, like 2-3 days. It's just spiraled like you can't believe. It's awesome, absolutely awesome. Great to talk to everyone, and great to get the show out there. All right, so when you're on one of these platforms, go subscribe to the channel, and then you get notifications when the new episodes and stuff come out. So yeah, join us into the group. It's awesome. All right, now before we get started, once again, SA Hot Rod Media, like I said in the last episode, we now do content creation and web and social media management. So guys, if you've got a shop or you're in the car industry and you just don't have time to get to your social media, go to our website, sahotrods.com. Give us a call or drop us a line, and we are happy to help you guys out like we are doing with so many other companies at the moment. Everything from social media, website development, management, e-commerce systems, we do it all. All right. But now on to today's show. Now, when I grew up like a real petrolhead. All right. We only watch like rugby and cricket and stuff with like South Africa was playing. My life was around hot rods. My weekends were spent with my dad going to motor shows, looking at cars and stuff. So obviously I grew up with a little bit of different heroes. My heroes were like Gene Winfield and Chip Foose and Boyd Coddington. Now, when I started the magazine years ago, Boyd Coddington just passed. So in the first edition, Joe Coddington actually helped us, and we did an article on Boyd Coddington. So it was a huge honor for me to speak to Chris, who's the son of Boyd, and talk to him because, like I said, I had just such a child emotion to the Coddingtons and everything that they did. But yeah, so obviously Chris is not on the building side, he's in the wheel side, but it's still a great conversation. He talks to us about everything and growing up with Boyd. Enjoy the show. Chris Coddington, man.
Yes.
Great to have you on the show, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, man. Thank you.
Now, you run Hot Rods by Boyd now.
Yes. Yeah, and we're primarily just focusing on manufacturing wheels here in America, two-piece billet wheels like we've always have, and that's pretty much it right now. We got a few truck projects we're going on because you know the OBS body style of trucks is pretty popular right now, so we've got a few things in the works on that, but just focusing on the custom wheel market here.
But now the custom wheels that you guys do, that's like the one-off two pieces. That's not like the mainstream Boyd stuff that you can normally see that I think American Racing and those guys, or the guys like American Racing then push out, right?
Yeah. Well, we were part of American Racing for a couple years, but that relationship kind of went away after my dad passed away. But I've been doing Hot Rods by Boyd, which I do have. Not everything's one-off. I have catalog product.
I looked at your website, yeah.
Yeah, you can order in a range of diameters and widths for pretty much anything. I mean, a lot of what we're doing now is a lot of custom truck stuff, a lot of C10 truck stuff, like pro touring stuff, a lot of first-gen Camaros.
Oh, wow.
A lot of muscle car, hot rod stuff. That's just, we do a lot of Porsche stuff as well.
I was just saying, I saw you guys had some 911 stuff and everything popping up in there as well.
Yeah, we build a replica of the original, like 356, steel wheels, and early 911 stuff. So that's on a kind of separate entity It's the same thing. It's all HRBB, but that website's a little different. That's alloyreplicas.com. But we've been doing that for a few years.
And then
mostly little.
Sorry, I like semi-stalked you guys completely before this. So I've just got as much information. Yeah. Can I see you guys do restoration, restore billet wheels and stuff as well, damaged billet wheels?
Yeah, we do a lot of wheel repair because with the 2-piece wheels, they've been around for a few decades now, and the technology hasn't really changed. So we're able to take some of those old wheels, whether you have a damaged set or you have a set that you found online. And we'll able to cut those out and put them in new rim shells, or maybe you want to change the offset or the width, or you want to just refinish them.
Yeah,
we can do that. It's pretty big.
So you don't focus as like much on the car building and stuff like your dad did?
No, ever since I was of working age, like 14, 15 years old, right at that time, that's when the wheel company started to take off. That would have been like 89, 90. So that was kind of a new thing, I mean, that was where CNC machining was coming on board. The demand for the wheels, it was all kind of new territory. It was really one of the first truly made to order wheel companies out there was Boyd's.
Yeah. I actually remember the first time I actually saw a set of Boyd's in person.
Okay.
It was a motor show in the car that was imported from the US, and I thought it was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. I can't even remember what car it was. I could just remember he had Boyd's on it.
Oh, right on. That's cool. Yeah. So that's been so my I guess when I was coming of age to start working, that's just where the need for me was and the interest was. And I kind of just been on the wheel side of things my whole life.
Oh, nice, man. But now, all the projects and stuff that your dad does, did you guys like keep some of the cars? I mean, my biggest question is the Luma truck and stuff. Where have all those projects gone?
Well, pretty much everything was, my dad had built a few cars for himself over the years, but mostly everything was built for customers. Yeah. So the last time I checked, that Luma truck was in Tennessee. So
that's such a timeless hot rod though. Hey.
Yeah, that was a cool little truck. So I do get, I'll get people call me saying they own these cars, and it's kind of try to keep track of where they're at, but it's, they get bought and sold all the time.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Like I said, it's been maybe 5 or 6 years ago that the Luma truck was in Tennessee, so maybe still there. Don't know.
Yeah, but now look, I mean, it's hard. I mean, on the show a while back, I had Sean Tucker. He's the great grandson of the guy that invented the Tucker. And we said it's just amazing to see, and he's building parts again now for original Tuckers and stuff, and it's great to see how the name continues, with what you guys are doing.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he's I think it's maybe two brothers. They're working with Rob Ida Automotive back east.
Yeah, I had Rob on the show as well.
Yeah. No, he's a good dude and he's talented, and he's got a real passion for kind of bringing those back, and just the history of them.
But
so
now
cool.
I saw on your website, so you started doing podcasts now as well.
Yeah, we've had a podcast now. We've probably had it now for maybe 2 years. It's a little side project for us because, as you know, it's like another job, right?
Yeah.
So it's been.
People don't know how much work goes into it.
Right? Yeah. Why don't you have more podcasts? It's like, I really do want to have more podcasts. It's like herding cats at times, but it's fun. And when we have people on, it's good. It's a learning experience for me. Just trip down memory lane a lot of times. But I mean, it's cool. Yeah. It's the HRBB podcast. You can see it, we're everywhere on.
I'll put a link up on for everybody and stuff, dude. But it must have been killer growing up with like in the family, and I mean, you guys were part of the first ever hot rod TV show, the first big one.
Yeah.
I mean, that must have been crazy as a kid, eh?
Yeah, I mean, I was an adult when that happened, but still, because that launched 2004,
Is it
three,
2004 around
three
there?
or three. I think it was into 2003, going into four,
Yeah.
and
I'm in my
then
40s, so anything older than 20 years ago was like ages, bro.
yeah. No, I just turned 47, so that was that it was a fun time. It was interesting, because at that point the wheel shop was there with the hot rod shop, and
Mm.
just dealing with camera crews there on a daily basis, and it was fun. There was times where it got annoying,
No, but you get used to the
but
camera crew after a while, don't you?
uh, you do, but I don't know. It was whatever, I mean, it was. I'm glad it happened.
Yeah.
I don't have any problems with it. It was good.
So now, so where are you guys going from here? I mean, like, are you guys busy working on some new wheel projects? You said you've got some car stuff going on as well.
Yeah, most of the we're doing truck stuff right now because that's kind of popular, and that's kind of
Trucks
what
are
I'm.
huge.
Yeah, I really like those trucks because the OBS trucks, it's the body style from 1988 to 1998. That's when I was coming of age as far as getting my license, and that was a time where my dad started customizing these things, and
Yeah.
that took off. That really helped drive the business. So, for me now, I'm able to afford it. These projects that when I was a kid, I was like, wanted to do one of them. But yeah, it's cool. Plus, it helps market the wheels.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. And are you
yeah,
still
it's cool.
involved with like SEMA and all the big shows and all that type of stuff? Eh?
Not really. I don't do too much with SEMA. I attend SEMA,
Mm.
but it's interesting to see what'll happen, what they're going to do with SEMA this year.
Yeah.
It people seem to kind of, it was nice maybe to have a break from SEMA last year, under unfortunately under those circumstances, but it's interesting the way people are going to see SEMA, going
It's
forward.
the thing that got me out of all of this is when we sat down, because we know SEMA was like big trade, okay, and everybody like worked towards SEMA because that's where they did the majority of their business. That's where everybody knew and saw what's coming up, and how fast companies could pivot now into realizing, oh well, shit, it's not there. So what do we do now? And how they've changed their business structure and stuff. So it's going to be interesting now seeing if SEMA kicks off again, how that's now integrated back into the industry.
Yeah,
Who's just
and
sat back and waited for another SEMA.
I think as an organization that can lobby for our industry in America, and across the world, really, SEMA is important in that sense. But as a company like myself, is it important to have a trade show every year
Yeah.
that you spend a lot of money to go to.
Huge, yeah.
So it's catch-22, right? Because SEMA needs funds to help fight for legislation and to push our industry forward. But I don't know if we need to go to Vegas every year or a trade show. At least I don't, especially with the internet now. Everything that I do is made to order, so it's like I don't have mass produced stuff that I need to go find dealers for. So I don't know.
And besides, if someone is doing a special project and he wants your wheels, he's going to know where to go.
Don't get me wrong. I need to still market myself and get the word out there that I'm out there. But do I need to spend that time and money and goes? It just seems like an old business model, if you will. To spend $30,000-$40,000 for a 10 by 20 booth.
Yeah.
And just be stuck there for the week when, I don't know.
Look, I mean, in South Africa, the worst we had was shows that like 4 or 5, up to like 3 days. And man, by day 3, it kills you. I don't even want to know what a week feels like. I mean, it must feel like a lifetime.
I love going to SEMA though. I like going as just a spectator, if you will.
Well, then you get to move around and you get to see.
Well,
people,
yeah, and then I get to see all the people that I talked to all year. You know, and it's, to me, that's the important part too, is, you know, go have a drink with somebody, go have dinner with somebody, talk about business that way. And, you know, I think, yeah, I think your money's well spent just going there and talking to people. But
exactly,
I don't know. I'm kind of torn on the subject, so I don't know.
I always saw with motor shows. I mean, I used to have stands and stuff for the magazine and everything. And after a while, I stopped doing it. Everybody got upset, and I'm like, dude, I haven't been able to see cars at a show for years. Yeah. I could never go walk around. You can never go see anyone or see anything unless they walk past your 6x6 space, you know?
Yep. Yeah. And in the last few years, I've just been, when I've attended shows, probably last year doesn't count, right? Because it really
no one counts last year.
Yeah, last year didn't count. But probably 3 or 4 years leading up to that, I haven't really displayed at a show. I've attended a bunch of shows, but you get kind of burnt out when you just set up a booth. So, but I love going to car shows and just kind of walking around and talking to people.
That I must say, that's the thing I've been missing, man. I've been missing.
Yeah.
Just like you say, go sit and have a beer with someone, and you know.
That's
and also
it's all important.
And then just actually, I mean, look, like we said, the internet is there. All right. And you see the guys, you know, the Ring Brothers and all these guys are pushing their cars out, and there's photos and stuff. And it's great, but it's something different seeing it in real life. You know?
Oh, sure. And that's the thing is with me, like displaying my wheels, people want to see it in person.
Yeah.
You know, and I get it.
Car guys, so, we want to touch stuff, dude.
Yeah.
Feel it, smell it, lick it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And it's good. It's good. I look at it, I don't think there's a wrong way to do it. If you want to go to a car show and enjoy it and talk to people, take pictures, post on Instagram, give your commentary on it, that's cool. If you want to go set up a booth and display product and answer questions all day, that's cool too.
Now, so, I wanted to ask you, I mean, sorry to go back to some of the stuff from your dad, but the Boydsters that your dad used to do, those 32 Boydsters, whatever happened to that?
There's actually there's one right behind me.
I know, that's why it's like staring me in the face the whole time. Yeah. What happened to those? Did someone not start producing them again, or
they still the body? Well, the original ones were made out of metal.
Yeah,
and then in around 2000, my dad decided, you know, he found a company out of Australia that he was
doing the fiberglass ones.
Yeah, pretty happy with, and he wanted to put together, bring in bodies and build chassis for them and sell either completed cars or kits. And that went on for a while. What happened was it just in California, especially, it gets hard to register specialty vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then so that was, then the TV show came on board. So there was plenty of stuff to do, you know, and other projects going on. So he still produced, I don't know the exact number of how many of the fiberglass bodies were sold. But we did that for a few years until my dad passed away.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so there's Boydsters. There's a Boydster 1, which is the high boy, the fenderless version. Then there's the one behind me, that's the Boydster 2.
Yeah.
And then there was a 33, 34 version, which was the Boydster 3.
Oh, dude, they were absolutely beautiful. I got to tell you.
Yeah, they're cool cars.
Man, I just started the magazine. It's probably like 11 years or 12 years ago. And this guy gives me a call the one day. And he's like, man, you got to get to my shop. I've got a Boyd Coddington.
Okay.
32. And I'm like, no way. I race through to his shop when I get there. And I'm going through the car. And I walk up to it and I'm like, man, this is not a Boyd Coddington. Unfortunately, it's not. The guy's like, no, the guy sold it to me. The thing was imported and all this type of stuff. I'm like, well, first of all, Boyd Coddington didn't build a car with a Jaguar XJ6 suspension in it. Yeah. So that's like a dead giveaway immediately. Turned out it was actually a local produced car, and it was South African guy. And yeah, so burst the guy's bubble. And like 3 years later, I'm in Johannesburg and I get to the shop and the guy's like, oh, I've got a great collection. And in my collection is a Boyd Coddington. And I'm like, oh man, I hope it's not that thing I saw a few years ago. Like, no,
Yeah.
no. Went around the corner, it's the same car.
Yeah, it happens.
Selling
Well,
it with that name.
And I deal with that too, because we obviously some of the the TV show cars and a lot of the magazine cars are pretty well documented, but there's a lot of cars out there that weren't documented. So we offer a service here at Hot Rods by Boyd where if you think you have a Boyd car, we'll try to verify it for you and then certify it.
Brilliant.
Because it's especially with the auctions, and then I get stuff all the time. Oh, it's a Boyd car, and then it's like, it's not. I mean, there's times where it's obvious it's not a Boyd car. Yeah. Then there's times where I have to do some research, and I have a little group of people that used to work for us, all different eras of the timeline.
Yeah.
So I got it covered. But yeah, we shut down a lot of people. Like, a lot of people just play dumb and go, oh, well, someone told me that or whatever.
Yeah.
But we've had to have people just, because we want to protect the legacy. We want to protect the cars. Cause there's some, we've come across some serious garbage out there where people are like, this is a Boyd car. And you just, no.
Exactly. Yeah. It just breaks your heart. No, but I mean, and you don't want it to end up like, Ed Roth's cars that ended up in junkyards and all that type of stuff, that people finding now.
Well, and also too, we want to know that because there are some cool cars out there that have been sold as Boyd cars, but they're not. And it's like, well, what's the real story? Because it's a kind of a cool car.
Yeah.
So it's not doing any justice to the person that actually built that car,
And if Boyd signed it at a motor show, it didn't mean it was one of his,
No, we've had that before. My dad signed the dash of a car, and then it starts out like, oh, it's a Boyd signed my car to, hey, it's a Boyd car. Yeah. So.
Oh man.
But that just but yeah, because people hit me up all the time, like on Facebook or social media or email, and go, hey, is this a Boyd car? So it happens.
We had a similar thing with gas monkey cars in South Africa as well. Bunch of guys that had claimed that their cars were built by Gas Monkey. Luckily, I like you, I've got fact checking and stuff from people I can send the cars to, and then you come back and you're like, no, it wasn't done by Gas Monkey. And then they come back and they're like, oh yeah, but the car's from Texas. You're like, yeah, that's a big difference between the cars from Texas and the car was built by Gas Monkey,
Oh, right. Texas is a big state.
Exactly. But now you guys have that issue currently with legislation and stuff on that side where they're trying to stop the custom car building, right?
It's just difficult, we have like our smog laws here in California. California is one of the most difficult states to deal with all that, with the emissions. And the frustrating part is, a lot of these newer motors are more efficient than a motor that was put in a car 30 years ago.
Yeah.
But, just because of the way the laws are, it's hard to, it's hard to get around some of that stuff. So that's why a lot of the industry, California was the spot. We got 40 million people in the state. This is where hot rodding started. But a lot of people I know have moved out of the state to more business friendly states like Tennessee or Texas.
Yeah.
So it's tough. I'm hopeful. But it's one of those things. I'm hopeful that the industry can progress. I mean, obviously, it's hard to ignore electric cars at this point. And I think customization will always be there, but I hope there's some kind of preservation for, the gas powered cars that obviously, run our world right now,
Well, I said, look, it's going to come up to the Edel Brocks and these type of guys to start coming up with something. How if you still got an old flathead sitting around in your hot rod,
Yeah.
how you can get that emission down so you can still drive it, you know?
Yeah, or you're going to have to move to Tennessee or something, right? Because they won't be allowed on the roads in California. You know?
That's heartbreaking completely. If you think, dude,
Yeah, it is.
And the state that started everything and no hot rods on the road, or only like modern hot rods, it's going to be heartbreaking, man.
Well, yeah, I mean, we got to evolve, but like I said, hopefully we can preserve some of that, you know.
Definitely.
I mean, we'll see. I don't know.
Well,
it's the political climate in America. I mean, just even California alone is frustrating to deal with, but it's still one of the greatest countries in the world. So
exactly.
we'll figure it out.
That just create a new hot rod state. That's it. You know,
that's what I'm saying.
Everybody's going to be like Texas.
Yeah, you're gonna have to, you know, in 30 years from now, they're like, "What are you doing?" Well, I'm gonna go drive cars. I'm going on vacation to drive a car. Where are you going? I'm going to Montana. Yeah, exactly. It's the only state they have little towns where you can drive. It feels like you're back in the, you know,
exactly
back in the 80s or whatever. You know, amusement parks where you got to go drive a car to get the experience.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Listen, man, you have a great day. I know you're starting your day on this side, but on my side, I'm getting kids to bed. But it was great talking to you, man. Definitely.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me, man.
And if all goes well, I'll probably see you if I can leave this country in November. If all the shit is stopped, I can leave the country.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'll see you at SEMA, man.
Yeah, let me know, man. I'll be out there. Like I said, I don't even know if they've discussed what's going to happen with SEMA, but hopefully it goes on.
I'll
be out there
with the Khan media guys and stuff and see what they've got to say. But I mean, like last year, I had Dan Khan on the show when lockdown just started, and we're like, yeah, it's doing SEMA and it's going to be great. And by November, it's going to be long over, and you know. And
yeah, right.
we're like, yeah, that didn't happen.
Yeah, cause the problem is Nevada's right next to California, and California, unfortunately, has like political influence over like our surrounding states. So it's kind of like whatever California does, it seems like Las Vegas has kind of gone that route. So hopefully as California opens up, Nevada open up, and I was just in Vegas this last weekend, and besides everybody wearing masks, you wouldn't tell there was anything going on.
Really?
It was packed.
Packed as always,
it was packed. So I'm hopeful. It's only May right now. We got some time.
We got time.
Yeah.
Listen, man, you look after yourself. Thank you so much for connecting to me, man.
Thank you. Yeah, man. Have a good day.
You too. Cheers. Bye.